And this is the segment of the show where we like to interview people. Very special guest today, Leroy Glover, defensive tackle for the New Orleans Saints. Leroy, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, finally, all this hubbub seems to be over for now. You guys can concentrate on football. Not that you guys really delved into the whole situation to begin with. It didn't really affect you, did it?
Yeah, I kind of made a point to not get involved in it, let Mr. Benson and that team deal with what we're going to play next year. Glad they got it done. I'm happy they got it done. Now we can really focus on getting prepared for this season.
You know, we talked to Joe Johnson on this program a couple of weeks ago about this very subject, and it was kind of a shame that all this had the potential to distract from what you guys did last year and the carryover effect that it could have on this season.
Well, once again, I think we have a veteran squad. Guys really don't let themselves get caught up in it too much. If we play here, fine. If we play in Alaska, that's fine too. We still have to get prepared for a season, so that's our focus.
Talk about this offseason, man. You guys have to be excited not only about the prospects and based on the potential of last year, but you guys have some new blood. I mean, there's an excitement around that camp out there.
I think training camp is important for a few things. Number one is going to be to build some competition. We have competition probably across the board more than any year I've been here in the past. Obviously, the quarterback situation is going to be exciting to watch. The running back situation is going to be exciting to watch. We got a lot of competition on the back end with our secondary there.
Right.
And then up front, you know, we always try to compete with each other as far as pushing each other to improve on certain things. And so that's what it's all about, trying to compete and trying to make yourself better.
Leroy, you're no nonsense, man. What was the biggest difference last year? What did Jim Haslett come in and do that was so different?
I think the most important thing was he brought a lot of confidence. Guys really went out there and believed that they could compete and they could win. You know, if in the past, you know, you're kind of going through some ups and downs and maybe you kind of lose confidence in maybe not your own ability, but your team's ability to win. That was the most important thing that I think he brought to the table.
Cool. Defensively, you got, I mean, the whole defensive line back. You know, Norman, yourself, Darren, Joe. And you, honestly, do you feel like you're one of the best in the business? Because statistically you are.
I think to feel that way is one thing, but to go out there and prove it each and every week is what really keeps you at the top. I mean, it's important to be there for 1 year, but we're trying to do that for maybe 1, 2, 3 years, however long they can keep the group together. And so that's going to be important for us to see. When you got a bullet on your chest, everyone's going to be trying to shoot you down. And
right.
so I remember we lost to the Vikings last year over in the Pro Bowl. Their offensive line coach was ranting and raving about how he shut us out. We didn't get a sack. And so those are the kind of things that you got to always keep in the back of your mind. The teams are going to be trying to gun for you.
It's kind of a small club after all, isn't it,
yeah.
when you get there.
And so that's kind of bragging rights for any offensive line to try to, you know, maybe keep us from getting sacks or keep us from making plays and doing things like that. And so we got to be sure each and every week we're on our game.
Leroy, what's it like to play in the NFL? I mean, this is something, I grew up, I wanted to be Ron Jaworski. It didn't work out. You know, every kid grows up who plays football and says, I want to make it to the NFL. You're here. What's it like? Tell me exactly what it's like.
Growing up, I wanted to be Reggie White. And so I kind of understand what you're saying. What it's like is it's very competitive. You got to be on top of your game each and every week because you got somebody looking over your shoulder trying to take your job. Mm-hmm. That's probably the most important thing. The game is fast. The game is physical. The seasons are long. And so if you're not prepared for that as a rookie, I don't know how long you're going to last here. And so those are a few of the important things that it takes to be an NFL ball player.
I mean, you're one of the guys who had to kind of get here the hard way. You know, you weren't highly talented coming out of college. Not like, you know, a #1 draft pick, anything like that. You had to work your way through the Raiders organization. You had to work your way through this organization before having your all-pro season. That had to weigh on your mind. I mean, talk about the determination that it took.
I think it goes to show what, you know, what hard work can get you. You continue to work your butt off, great things are going to happen. Obviously went through the World League, got cut, doing all those different things. And I'm going on my 6th year now, and all that stuff's behind me, and I'm just trying to work on putting together some more pretty good years here with the Saints. And so it's kind of all coming to fold now.
Where do you get the discipline? You're described by your teammates as one of the most disciplined guys on the field. I mean, your mom, your dad, is it family rooted?
Probably the upbringing has a lot to do with it. I come from a family where my father worked 2 or 3 jobs and my mother worked 3 or 4 different jobs. And so that's probably where the work ethic came from. Having to get up early in the morning and go to work. You couldn't sit around the house. You had to do something. You had to bring home some money, obviously. And so that's kind of where it comes from.
You talked about the speed of this game. I don't think people understand exactly how fast it is out there. I know the first time that I saw an NFL game, and I stepped out on the sidelines, and I'd covered college football for years, but you step down, and then all of a sudden the play's over. I mean, before it even starts, it seems like, you know, someone's down, someone's dead. I mean, the speed is, the graduation of speed from the college ranks right into the NFL is just incredible. How do you adjust to that?
I think it's just being thrown into the fire as a young guy. Sooner or later, you're going to get an opportunity to play, whether it's if a guy gets injured or if you happen to be a starter. once you're thrown out there, you got to adjust on the ropes as fastly as possible. That's probably the most important thing. Once you're in the game, you have an opportunity, you got to shine. If you don't, another guy's knocking on your shoulder trying to take your job. And so those are the kind of things you learn as you get some experience in the NFL.
And what's your biggest asset? What's your biggest move? What do you do so well that the others don't? Why are you unstoppable?
I don't know. I think people say, you know, maybe he's too small. I think I use it to my advantage. You know, I'm able to get under people, use some leverage there. Studying a lot of film is also a good asset to kind of know what your opponent's going to do before the play even starts, trying to diagnose things, and obviously having good technique. Those are the kind of things that separate the good ones from the great ones.
You don't strike me as the type to get down on the line and talk a lot of smack.
No,
Do you?
not quite. I kind of let the way I play do all the talking. That says enough most of the time.
Can you say some of the things on television that are said down on the line in the trenches?
I don't think we can. I don't think the show's long enough to hear all the trash talking and all the different things that goes on between the lines. Sometimes it can get a little humorous though, and sometimes it can get downright dirty. So we're going to leave that on the field.
Who's the biggest smack talker out there that you've faced?
Offensively, there's a lot of them now, but I think obviously John Randall,
Right.
Warren Sapp, guys that talk a lot of trash. We have a guy on our team who talks a lot too, Kyle Turley, who kind of gets after it with guys, and it's part of the game. I don't do it. That's something I choose not to do. But if someone starts with me, I kind of try to hit them before they can say another word, and so that's kind of how I equal things out.
You guys are about to hit it here in a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah.
You say that with just a little longing. You can't wait to get to Thibodeau, can you?
You can't wait to get to Thibodeau because you know the sooner it starts, the sooner it will be over. It's as simple as that.
It's nothing personal against the people of Lafourche Parish, trust me.
There you go. The one thing that many of the young guys have to learn is it's not a race, it's a marathon.
Right.
It's not to see who can get through practice the fastest, to who can make it there. It's going to be 4 weeks there. And so that's going to be a long haul for us. Then training camp is over, you got the preseason. Preseason's over, you got the regular season. Regular season playoffs, and then, the two teams that are left playing the Super Bowl. So.
And it's not like you guys have had any time off. I mean, you had coaching sessions, mini camps. You had like a month in February to kind of think about what's going on. The grind itself, I mean, doesn't it start to take more of a mental toll than a physical toll?
Definitely. That's why it's so important guys take care of their bodies nowadays.
Right.
Back in the old days, guys can show up to training camp not having worked out since the playoff or the regular season was over. Nowadays, we go year-round. It doesn't stop. You come from your off-season program straight into training camp, and so that's why some guys nowadays have an edge.
Is it possible, is it even remotely possible that the New Orleans Saints could become the first NFL team to host and play in a Super Bowl?
That's the mindset. That's the goal. That's what we're shooting for. Could it happen? Yes. Will it happen? It's yet to be seen. Once again, it's a marathon now. It's not to see who can get through games the fastest, but who can make it through the long haul. If we can stay focused through 16 weeks of football and get some breaks along the way, you might see the New Orleans Saints at home in the Super Bowl. So that's yet to be seen.
Possible. I guess we'll see. When you say stay focused, what does that mean?
Staying focused means, obviously throughout the course of a season, you're going to get lucky to win a ball game. Maybe, the last minute of a ball game, you kick a field goal to win.
Right.
Whatever you have to do to be successful to win a game, that's what I mean by staying focused. Not letting the media divide you, not letting other outside distractions, maybe a contract situation. Anything, don't worry about it. Let it take care of yourself. You focus on playing football week in and week out.
Let me give you one piece of advice. Drink a lot of water for the next 2 weeks, will you?
Yeah, more than water. You're going to see some IVs flying around out there. You're going to see a whole lot of stuff going on in training camp. And I think it's open to the fans as well. So all the fans out there, come on out, be a part of it. It's going to be a great atmosphere.
Pitch man, Leroy Glover. Leroy, thanks for being here. Appreciate it very much. Of course, we'll